After a long drive down an empty road or deep into the forest, here you just climb up into a rooftop tent that's already set up with room for two and go directly to sleep or directly to those thoughts that you know it's up to you to control them, right? Just be positive, man. I mean, I can't, but you should. Anyways, opening the tent is simple. Gas struts lift the lid as soon as you unlock it, and the structure unfolds in one motion. A telescoping aluminum ladder pulls out from inside the shell and supports up to 330 pounds. It locks into place firmly, so you can climb up without much movement. There are 3 large windows with zippered mesh panels for airflow, plus a roof panel for looking up at the sky. Small vents on the sides keep the air from feeling trapped inside. Lighting is handled by an internal dimmable LED strip and a second light under the entrance for nighttime visibility. When closed, the tent has a slim profile that doesn't take up much height, keeping your vehicle shape clean and ready for travel. The tent stays compact during travel, folding down to 60 in long, 48 in wide, and 13 in high. When opened, it gives you a sleeping space that stretches nearly 79 in length with a center height of about 47 inches. The outer shell is made from ABS plastic with an acrylic inner layer to protect it from sun and road wear. The tent material itself is a heavy polycotton canvas treated with a silver coating and a fire-resistant finish. And inside you'll find a 1.6-inch foam mattress with a soft removable quilted cover that's easy to clean. You can set the shelter up on the ground like a regular tent or hang it between trees or posts if the ground isn't flat. Inside, it gives you about 79 in length, 34 in width, and 36 in height. On the outside, it stretches to about 110 x 41 x 55 in and can hold up to 220 pounds. Instead of traditional tent poles, the frame is made from strong polyester and TPU tubes that inflate in about 15 seconds using a small hand pump. Once inflated, the shelter stands on its own. The outer layer is a 210T polyester rainfly coated to handle steady rain, while the inside is lined with breathable mesh to let air flow through. You can secure the shelter with stakes when on solid ground, or use the webbing to suspend it between 2 anchor points. The carbon bars keep the sleeping area flat when it's hanging so it doesn't fold in on itself. This is helpful when camping over rocks, wet ground, or slopes. The mesh walls help with airflow, and being off the ground keeps you clear of bugs and damp surfaces. Carrying gear during outdoor activities can be a hassle, especially when you need to stop and unpack just to grab something. This backpack takes a different approach. It has a special feature, a swing arm system that lets you access a lower compartment called the shuttle pod without taking the whole pack off. While the main part stays on your back, the pod swings forward, giving you quick access to whatever you've stored inside. The backpack holds around 30 L in total. That includes both the top section and the shuttle pod underneath. It measures about 21 in tall, 14 in wide, and 9 in deep. On its own, the pack weighs about 5 pounds, but when you add in things like the rain cover and internal dividers, it comes closer to 6.4 pounds. To use the pod, you pull a small T-shaped handle. This unlocks the pod, which swings around on an aluminum arm and rests in front of your torso. From there, you can grab your camera, tools, or anything else you've packed. When you're done, you swing it back and push it until it clicks into place. The backpack is made from riptop nylon, which is tough and helps protect the contents from wear. Inside there's foam padding to keep gear safe from knocks and bumps. The bottom part is sealed so anything stored there stays protected if the top compartment gets wet. A rigid frame supports the structure of the bag and keeps it balanced. Looking at an add-on that connects two paddle boards together to turn them into one big floating lounge. Normally, people stand or sit on a single paddle board to paddle around on the water. But this setup lets you take two paddle boards, place a special base on each one, and then strap them together side by side. Once connected, the two boards become like a floating deck, a flat surface where two people can lie down, sit, relax, or talk without paddling. Think of it as turning two paddle boards into a kind of water couch or floating platform, so you and a friend can chill on the lake, river, or ocean. You're not moving around. You're just floating together and enjoying the space. The best thing is that don't even need any tools. You just place the parts on the boards, connect them with the straps, and that's it. It works best with inflatable paddle boards, which many people already have. Next, a tall balloon-like column that fills with air and has a bright LED light inside. It stands on the ground, fills up with air using a built-in fan, like a bounce house, and then lights up large areas. Looks pretty much like a Mandalorian sword, but much thicker and taller, and you can't make a battle with it. You can still mess with people, but this sword will only be there to light up your way so you can dash out at full speed. It's not made from metal or plastic like most lighting stands. Instead, it's made from a special kind of fabric that becomes firm when filled with air. That makes it lighter and easier to carry or move, especially when someone needs to light up a place quickly. You just plug it into a normal power outlet. It inflates in seconds, and then the lights turn on to cover a wide space between 4,000 and 18,000 square foot, depending on the model. Pretty much about the size of a small parking lot up to a warehouse. People are using it when they need fast temporary lighting, like at an accident scene, a construction site at night, a film shoot, or an outdoor event. It's designed to be simple. One person can carry and set it up without tools or help. Next, another tent worth to analyze, and it relies on an inflatable structure called the inflatable diamond grid. This design connects several air chambers in a pattern that holds the tent up when filled with air. The chambers are made from strong polyester material with a flexible inner lining. You only need one pump to inflate the whole frame through a single valve. And if one part of the air system has a problem, like a leak, you can close it off so the rest of the tent stays standing. The tent comes in three parts: the air frame, the outer cover or the fly sheet, and the inner room. But these are all connected during the first setup. After that, pitching the tent is quick and easy. Unroll it and pump it up. The materials are chosen for weather resistance. The outer layer keeps out rain, and the floor uses thicker fabric to handle tough ground. Air vents are built into the top and bottom of most tents to help with airflow and keep things comfortable inside. Loops for tie-down lines help keep the tent steady in the wind. The number of doors, windows, and interior layout depends on the model. The cave is the original design, offering space for 2 to 3 people. Next, people saying that this hammock feels more like a bed than a hammock. It works both in the air and on the ground, but when hung between two trees, making a flat place to sleep, unlike hammocks that sag in the middle, so no wonder you can sleep in your stomach, side, or however you please. It's made of strong straps, spreader bars, and metal hardware to keep everything tight and level. Inside the floor is 80 in x 27 in with a ceiling height of 35 in, capable of holding up to 275 pounds. It has a base made of thick nylon with a waterproof coating to help keep things dry. To set it up, you just wrap the straps around two trees between 7 and 30 in wide. Then you connect the spreader bars using the buckles and slide in the poles to build the tent frame. It has a ridge pole and a cross pole, giving it its shape. You can also place it on the ground like a regular tent. No extra gear needed. Putting it together takes about 6 minutes once you've done it a few times. The first try might take longer since getting the tension and alignment right can be tricky at first. Inside, there are a few mesh pockets for storing small items, and there's enough headroom to sit up comfortably. Starting with a camper box turns a regular minivan into a small, comfortable space for traveling or short camping trips. The bed frame measures about 46 x 72 in, and it comes with a mattress that's around 3 in thick, giving a cozy place to rest. The box stands about 16.5 in tall and weighs roughly 175 pounds, mattress included. It's made from birch and laminated plywood, which gives it strength and a clean, natural look. Inside the box, there are 4 drawers that can be pulled out for storing clothes, food, or camping gear. It also has a small kitchen setup with a stainless steel sink, a 12 VT pump that brings water from a 4-gallon container, and a single burner gas stove with a windscreen. There's even a 26Q refrigerator drawer that can be switched out for a regular cooler if preferred. When not in use, the bed folds neatly on top of the box, so the van can still seat up to 4 people. Setting up the box takes just a few minutes, and no changes to the vehicle are needed. It's made to fit many common vans such as the Toyota Sienna, Chrysler Pacifica, Dodge Caravan, Honda Odyssey, Ford Transit Connect, and Kia Sedona. And there's also a lower profile version for vans with less headroom, which keeps the same idea, but with slightly smaller parts. Looking at an inflatable electric catamaran with a twin pontoon layout and 4 independent air chambers. The motor uses a 2-blade 11-in propeller and allows for tilt adjustment up to 70 degrees with trim angles between 0 degrees and 21 degrees. Shaft length varies by model, long or short. Power is supplied by a lithium-ion battery. Depending on speed, weight, and conditions, the boat can operate for 2 to 8 hours. At a steady cruise around 3 miles per hour, it can travel about 25 miles. At top speed of 6 miles per hour, the range drops to about 10 m. Solar panels are available as an option to recharge the battery while underway. Its structure uses PVC fabric and double wall drop stitch construction, which gives it a firm, stable form when inflated. Far more rigid than typical inflatable boats, the boat packs down to 4 ft x 2 feet x 2 feet, making it easy to store or load into a standard vehicle. When assembled, it measures 14 ft 8 in long, 7 feet 8 inches in wide, and 6 feet 5 inches in tall, offering around 86 square feet of usable deck space. Depending on the model and setup, the total weight ranges from 264 to 310 pounds. It can carry up to 6 people or more than 1,300 pounds in total. The boat's quiet electric system and zero emissions operation wins a plus from us as a choice for slow cruising in calm waters, wildlife zones, or areas with strict noise or fuel restrictions. Further, a charcoal grill and smoker folds up like a suitcase, easy to carry and store. It's a medium-sized grill, about 27 in wide and 20 in deep when open. It weighs around 28 to 31 pounds and offers up to 425 square in of cooking space, which is plenty for several burgers, steaks, or ribs at once. It is made from die-cast aluminum with a tough anodized coating, which helps it stand up to regular use. Inside, it has a layered heat system that spreads heat evenly and helps keep the outside from getting too hot. This makes it safer to set down on a variety of surfaces even while it's in use. Its airflow is handled by magnetic sliders called mag vent, which are easy to move and stay in place without extra parts. A built-in analog thermometer on the lid shows the temperature during closed lid cooking. There are two ways to use this grill. You can open both sides to cook across the full surface or keep one side closed for slow cooking or smoking. Besides, everything inside stays secure when you're moving it. The grates are held in place with magnets, so they don't shift around. Another compact cooking setup made to work with any regular 120-volt outlet with two induction burners that share up to 1500 W of power, each with 9 heat levels, so you can cook full meals outdoors without needing gas or flame. When it's fully open, the kitchen stretches out to about 53 in long and 16 in wide with a low profile of under 3 in high. Folded up, it shrinks to around 26 in length and just under 6 in tall. The whole setup, including the storage bag, weighs about 41 pounds, and it comes with a 7.5 feet cord, a drawer for utensils, a food prep area, and a cutting board made from recycled materials. It also includes a set of LED lights with poles which can be used as lanterns or strung up overhead. The lights have 4 brightness levels and attach magnetically. One of its clever features is the cooktop's safety function. It only turns on when it senses proper cookware on the burners and it shuts off when the pan is removed. This keeps things simple and safe when cooking outside. Further, the Aero tent moon setting up using inflatable air beams instead of regular tent poles. To pitch the tent, a small device called the Giga Pump 80 connects to the valve. You press one button and the pump starts filling the beams. It takes about 4 minutes to fully inflate. The pump can move about 30 L of air per second and runs for up to 50 minutes on a full charge. It uses a 2000 missing in action battery and takes around 4.5 hours to recharge. The tent size is about 126 in long and 91 in wide with a height of 65 inches. It can fit 2 to 4 people comfortably. When packed up, it shrinks down to about 27.5 x 11.8 x 11.8 inches. And weighs roughly 20.5 pounds. The tent also offers sun protection with a UV rating of UPF 50+. It comes with 3 zip-up doors and a removable bug net. Some versions allow you to divide the inside into 2 sleeping areas with a covered middle space. So instead of poles, the tent's support comes from air beams laid out in a cross pattern. And next they just park and life is beautiful. Their trailer changes from something you tow to a small camp you can live out of the other trailer with a platform that lifts up using a scissor-style mechanism raising the tent above the main body without needing extra space. On top of this platform is a Yakima tent that sleeps 4 people with an awning that folds out to provide shade. Underneath there are drawers that slide out to reveal a 2-burner stove, a stainless steel sink, a fridge and freezer combo, and a surface for preparing food. It carries 16 g of clean water, and has a 15-gallon tank for used water. It also has a pop-up curtain that hides a toilet and a shower area powered by a small water heater. For power, The trailer uses a generator and a battery, an Optima yellow top, and the lights include adjustable LED strips and mounted lights to brighten up the space. The electric lift raises the tent, and the lower section becomes a kitchen and utility space. The stove and sink slide out easily, giving you room to cook and clean. The wires and pipes are hidden inside the body of the trailer, so everything looks clean and stays out of the way. Raising the tent off the ground helps with airflow and gives you a better view. The awning creates a nice area to sit outside, even in sun or rain. There are also mounts to carry fishing rods, fuel cans, and other gear. And this compact unit works as both a propane fire pit and a small grill. It measures 12x6x7.5 in and weighs about 13.8 pounds. The body is made of stainless steel and it runs on propane instead of wood, which means no smoke, ash, or flying embers. It runs for around 2.4 hours on full flame. The gas connection uses a QCC1 fitting and the output has a quick connect. It also comes with foldable legs, a grill grate you can remove, a tray underneath to catch drips, and a knob that lets you adjust the flame depending on whether you're cooking or just enjoying the fire. There are two modes, one for fire and one for cooking. Fire pit mode gives you big orange flames, perfect for sitting around and warming up. Grill mode switches to a tighter, hotter blue flame, which is better for preparing food. The size and shape make it easy to pack in a car or use at a campsite, tailgate, or even the beach. It's not meant for cooking big meals, but it handles the basics like a couple of burgers or some hot dogs just fine. Cleanup is easier than with a wood fire thanks to the grease tray. And all the parts fit inside the main body when you're done. Next, here's a 5-sided tent used for ice fishing, cold weather camping, or even as a sauna tent. It uses a central hub-style frame that makes setup quicker even in freezing temperatures. 2 doors make entry and exit easier, and the 5-sided shape gives more usable floor area than a typical square tent. So, the outer shell is made from thick 450 denier thermal fabric with a black PU coating. Inside, it's insulated with a 2.66 Oz per square yard polyfill layer to help retain heat and reduce condensation. The walls can handle light moisture and there's a waterproof floor available, though sometimes it's sold separately. Its frame is made from fiberglass poles about 0.4 in thick, giving the tent shape and strength. When fully set up, it measures roughly 9 feet long, 9.5 feet wide, and 6.7 feet tall. That offers a good amount of interior space. Some people set up small wood stoves inside. There's enough room for that as long as the stove is properly vented and safely placed. High vents help with airflow, especially important when using heat sources. While it doesn't come with official snow or wind ratings, it's built to stay stable in rough winter conditions. And this camper manages to work both as an everyday vehicle and a travel van. It's made from compact vans like the Peugeot Expert or Opel Vavero and is available in diesel, fully electric, and a hydrogen model that's still in development. The electric version has a 134 horsepower motor and a 75 kilowatt-hour battery. On a full charge, it can usually go about 155 miles, though it can reach up to 205 miles in ideal conditions. It supports fast charging up to 100 kilowatts, which means it can reach 80% charge in around half an hour if the charger is powerful enough. One of the larger models, the Exter XXL, is about 17 feet long. It sits a little over 6 feet tall when the awning is included. A separate 200 amp hour battery powers things like lights and appliances inside the van, and solar panels on the roof help supply extra energy when parked. Inside, the sleeping area is designed with a clever sliding system that creates a flat bed up to 79 x 53 inches. There's also the option to add a pop-up roof for an extra sleeping spot. The kitchen setup includes a sink and a 2-burner stove along with either a drawer-style fridge or a basic cooler box depending on the model. Storage areas are tucked under the bed near the kitchen and sometimes between the front seats. This tent is made for people who want to travel light and set up camp quickly in 10 seconds, respectively. At least that's what the company says. The standard version weighs about 1.9 pounds, while the Pro version is a bit lighter at around 1.7 pounds. Both fit neatly into a small bag about the size of a water bottle, making them easy to carry in a backpack. They're made from waterproof sil nylon fabric and use a single wall design, so there's no extra layer to fuss with. The shape of the tent is unique. It has a diamond-like shape that's designed to handle strong wind by guiding it around the tent instead of catching it. It stands using one main arch or pole and uses just 2 main stakes with the option to add more lines if needed. Ventilation is built into the design with 6 vents and 2 large mesh doors, so air keeps moving even when everything is zipped up. Inside, there's enough space for 1 person to sleep comfortably. 2 people could fit, but it would be tight. There are a few storage spots built in, like mesh pockets and a special area at one end to keep shoes or gear out of the sleeping space. One interesting part of the design is that it can be used with a hammock. With a few extra lines, the tent can hang above a hammock instead of sitting on the ground, which can be helpful in places where there's no flat area to set up. The makers also say it can handle very strong winds up to 70 or 80 miles per hour. So, I don't know, man, I was looking at this and couldn't help but share with someone. High above a Patagonian valley about 885 feet up a sheer cliff. Clear capsules cling to the rock face like floating bubbles. Each one is securely fastened with 9 steel anchors strong enough to hold roughly 35 tons. Inside the space unfolds across 3 small levels, a cozy bed under a glass dome for stargazing, a middle section with a lounge and eco-toilet, and a lower deck with a net where guests can relax above the open air. Powered by solar panels and connected through satellite Wi-Fi, these capsules near El Chalt offer sweeping 360 degrees mountain views reached by a guided climb. Finally, we can have an espresso whenever we feel like it, even afternoon. And yes, even if that breaks every unspoken rule in Italy. You heard it correct. Not even Italian chefs can't deny us from a shot after 12 p.m. This compact battery-powered espresso maker makes sure our coffee habits are ours alone. Whether we're on the road, at our desk, or miles from the nearest cafe, we can brew a real espresso with the push of a button. No permission, no rules, just coffee. It runs on a built-in battery and heats up water by itself. And we can make coffee in 2 ways. Using small coffee capsules like Nespresso style. Using regular ground coffee up to about half an ounce, it holds a small amount of water, about 1.3 ounces, or 2.7 ounces, just enough for a single espresso shot or a slightly larger one. If you start with cold water, it heats it up in about 2 to 3 minutes and then brews automatically. If you pour in hot water, it skips the heating and starts brewing right away. The machine has 2 buttons, one for hot coffee and one for cold brew. You press and hold to start, A small screen shows the battery level and temperature. It charges with a regular USB-C cable like many phones and takes around 3 hours to fully charge. When the battery is full, it can make about 2 to 4 cups using cold water and many more if you use hot water. Another type of tent that sits on the roof of your car. It's fully inflatable and you can use an electric pump to blow it up. Kind of like inflating a big air mattress or a stand-up paddle board. In fact, it comes with a 12 VT electric pump together with ropes, pegs, mounting hardware, and a weather cover. When it's packed up, the tent is small and flat, so it doesn't add much height or weight to your vehicle. But when you stop to camp, you open the cover, pump in air to make it stand up, and it turns into a big roomy tent with an area of 134 x 69 in and an interior height of 55 inches. It can sleep 5 to 6 people inside. It has 2 entry points and a divider inside so you can have separate sleeping areas so you don't have to stay all together like a bunch of socks in the laundry basket or like the beginning of a reality show. The floor of the tent is made from strong inflatable material and the walls and roof are made from weather-resistant fabrics. It has 2 doors, large windows, and even roof openings so you can look at the sky. Analyze with us this modular solar power system that doesn't require a big complicated box or expert installation. The system has 2 main parts. The solar bag, respectively the foldable solar panel that captures sunlight and turns it into electricity. It has a total power of 440 W, but it folds in half with each side being 220 W. It can charge devices like phones or tablets directly using built-in USB ports. And it can also send power to a battery or power station. And the Select Brick S1, respectively, the smart controller that manages the power coming from the solar panel. It makes sure the power is delivered efficiently, even if one part of the panel is in the shade or if you're using different types of panels together. It also adapts automatically to different battery types, so you don't have to manually set anything up. Super easy, super effective, right? You just connect the pieces with simple plugs and the system starts working. Each panel has its own smart controller, the S1. So, if part of it is shaded or weaker, the rest still works at full strength. Lately, time has been moving so fast, it feels like it's slipping through our fingers. Therefore, we became obsessed with anything that preaches saving us time, whether it's a product, service, or experience, all in the name of efficiency. You know, just so we can spend that extra time doing things that truly matter, truly vital things like, you know, overthinking, scrolling through feeds for hours, etc. What? Don't act like you're out there playing chess. So, here we have a 2 SE secondon tent that pops open by itself in just a few seconds. The frame is built with flexible rods that are already shaped, so when you take it out of the bag, it springs into form on its own, just like a baby freed from a swaddle. The outside is polyester with a waterproof coating, and the floor is a thick plastic with sealed seams to help keep water from getting in. Once staked down with the included pegs and ropes, it holds up well against moderate wind. Some models come with special fabric that blocks out light and heat, making the tent darker and cooler during the day. Folding it back down takes a little more patience. I told you, just like a baby, but now getting swaddled. First, you pull out the stakes and lay the tent flat. Then, you fold the sides in and use a twisting motion to shape it into a figure eight. After that, You fold the loops over each other and press it into a flat circle that goes back into the carry bag. If you think that this one is a fuel can, then I think you've already know what I'm going to say. It's time to start retinol on your skin. Me and this joke. I know that's why I am single. So looking at a small battery-powered generator that stores electricity so you can use it later when you're not near a wall outlet, during a power outage, on a road trip, etc. Here's what it does. You charge it in advance using a wall outlet or solar panels. Once it's charged, it acts like a big battery. You can plug things into it. It can power small electronics like phones, fans, lights, or laptops. It can't run big appliances like microwaves or heaters. It's not that powerful, of course. It holds 500 Wh of energy, which means it can charge your phone about 30 times or keep a small light on for a couple of days. I think I saw once a guy in a restaurant charging this device while having a small meal. Filling your batteries while someone else pays the bills. So smart. I mean, so inappropriate. Next. This tent uses a special type of fabric that can heal itself when it gets tiny holes. Wait, what? I wish my granny would be alive to see this. She'd act like doing rocket science when she had to sew my torn pants while I was half naked waiting on a corner. I miss her. Its material is made from a nylon base with a special coating on both sides. If it gets a small puncture, like from a stick or rock, you can rub the spot with your fingers, and the heat and pressure help close up the hole. It doesn't work for big tears or broken seams, but for small damage, it can fix itself without needing tape or patches. The same self-wrapping fabric is used on the rainfly, so the outer layer has the same ability to close small holes. It also has mesh windows and vents to keep air flowing and prevent stuffiness inside. The bottom is made of a waterproof layer that helps keep water from coming in from the ground. This repair feature works best in normal temperatures. If it gets too cold, the material can get stiff and won't seal as well. And if it gets scratched up too much, the coating might wear down. But in most situations, it can handle small accidents like snags or pokes without much effort. The tent fits 3 to 4 people and measures about 9 feet x 7 feet, giving just enough headroom to sit or crouch comfortably. It weighs about 8 pounds, so it's easy to carry for car trips or short hikes. Setting it up takes less than 3 minutes. Here's how it works. When you're driving, it stays small and easy to tow, even with a regular SUV or car. When you stop, you open it up. A tent pops up on the roof for sleeping, and a kitchen slides out from the side. Inside the trailer, you don't sit or sleep. It's mainly for storing your gear like bikes, tools, food, and supplies. It carries water, has power outlets, and includes basic camping features like a sink, stove, fridge, and storage. It's made from strong but light materials, so it's easy to move around, but still tough enough for bumpy or remote places. For power, it comes with a 95 Ah gel battery, and it includes both 12 VT and 220 volt outlets along with a connection for shore power. And that's it? Another kind high-tech camping tent that, well, here's what it does. You don't need to build it by hand. You press a button and the tent inflates itself in under 3 minutes using built-in air tubes, like big inflatable poles. It has power and lights built in. Inside the tent, There are small power packs that run lights and also let you charge things like your phone with a USB cable. It's split into different zones like sleeping and living areas. And each one can have its own light. The fabric is thick and waterproof so it can handle heavy rain. It also blocks out sun and meets fire safety standards. The windows have 3 layers for airflow, privacy, and weather protection. There are 2 sizes. One fits 4 people and the bigger one fits 6. It includes things like a carry bag with wheels, a ground sheet for the floor, and tools for setup or repairs. Inside, the sleeping areas are darkened to help you sleep better. And you can divide or open the space depending on how many people are inside. You can also add extra covers or awnings to give more shade or space outside. Looking next to a thermoelectric generator, meaning a small metal device that produces electricity from heat, specifically from cooking fires or stoves. Basically, it converts waste heat from a fire into electricity that can charge small electronics like phones, LED lights, or power banks, delivering its electricity through a standard USB port. But how does it work? Well, a metal probe or arm from the spark is placed near or inside the fire. One side of the thermoelectric module inside the spark gets hot while the other side is cooled, usually by water or surrounding air. The temperature difference creates a DC electric current through the spec effect. That current is regulated and sent out through a USB port to charge devices. It delivers 2 to 5 watts of USB level DC power using a solid-state design with no moving parts. In early testing, it charged a phone in about 2 hours with improved speed in the final version. And as long as there's a strong heat source and the other side stays cooler, it keeps generating power and a camper trailer you tow behind your vehicle. It unfolds into a place to sleep and live while you're camping, nomading, or stopping a while for I don't know, you name it. But once it's fully opened, it stretches out to about 21.5 feet long, 9 feet wide, and almost 11.5 feet tall. Plenty of space to move around or sleep comfortably. It's built on a steel frame and rides on 15-in alloy wheels with chunky tread tires. The suspension uses coil springs and dual shock absorbers to handle trail conditions. The body panels have a baked enamel finish that holds up well to the elements. Inside there are 2 double beds that can be made into king size. And when the annex is added, up to 10 people can sleep inside. For power, it comes with 2 100 amp-hour lithium batteries, a Renairy battery system, a 2,000W inverter, and 2 chargers to keep everything running while you're off-grid. Water isn't a problem either. It holds 2 70L tanks, and the kitchen slides out from the side. There's a 4-burner gas stove, a sink, pantry space, and a board for prepping food. You also get a handheld outdoor shower, and a portable toilet. There's an optional add-on if you want a more private setup. The annex inflates on its own as part of the system and connects with zippers. When it's time to leave, you just reverse the steps, let the